up and get your joy up. Embrace this brand new day. Let light and love fill you up. Get your morning cup of Jubilee. So much goodness waiting, so much overflow. All this anticipation. Morning cup of Jubilee. Faith, love, and good equation. Feeding your soul, you're amazing. Daily you're celebrating. Morning cup of Jubilee.
Good morning. You have tuned in to Morning Cup of Jubilee. I'm your host, Jubilee. I hope that you have your mugs together. I hope you have your sippy cups, your tumblers, or your Yetis, okay? Somebody gifted me a Yeti last week, and my life has forever been changed. So if you want to donate a Yeti, please let me know, okay? Because I am a fan, all right? But let's get into today's play of the day. And I'll be right back. Watch me be a DJ. Watch. Here we go.
Woke up this morning, I got up and prayed. I'm thanking the Lord for another good day. I kept it simple, no need to explain. Yeah. The devil thought he had me, I got away. Yeah. Don't it feel good when you've been in his presence? Yeah. Walking with him ain't no second guessing. Yeah. Some call it love, but I call it a blessing. Yeah. He give me peace, ain't no need to be stressing. He never gave up on me. His promises he'll always keep. He paid the price just for me, yeah. Gave him my all, now I'm free. Woke up this morning, I got up and prayed. Thanking the Lord for another good day. I kept it simple, no need to explain. Never thought he had me, I got away. Yeah. Don't it feel good when you're in his presence? Yeah. Walking with him ain't no second guess. Yeah. Somebody love, but I call it a blessing. He give me peace, ain't no need to be stressing. He never gave up on me. His promises he'll always keep. He paid the price just for me. Gave him my all, now I'm free.
And I hope that you enjoyed today's play of the day. You know how I feel about this mic, but I'm gonna put it down. I ain't gonna play it the whole time we here, okay? I put it down. Wait, how you turn it off? Okay. All right. I hope you enjoyed today's play of the day. Support independent artists, support emerging artists, support artists making great music, okay? And today's episode is dedicated to one of my producers. His name is Brandon Watts Music. You actually seen me interview him on the Morning Cup of Jubilee. But my shout out goes to him. We had a session last night, a studio session where I recorded a song called Scar Story. I won't play it yet, but I have been just sharing it with some close family and friends. And it's probably going to be one of the next songs that I release. But every time I go to the studio, Brandon's like, all right, bet, let's do it. And I just, I'm shouting him out because that kind of attitude and disposition really helps to bring out these creative ideas that have been written down, hidden in a voice memo for years on end, right? And so I think every creative needs somebody who's going to help birth their vision, So Brendan is definitely one of the people that does that for me, and I am grateful. So shout out. And he's also a singer, songwriter, creative, producer, musician in his own right. And so, yeah, I just want to take a moment to shout you out. Brandon, you are the best. Okay. All right. Now it's time for today's sip of inspiration. Are you ready to get inspired? Now let's go. Y'all talk back to me. Wait, y'all talk back to me before I have to use. Hold on. Hello. Are y'all out there? Are y'all ready to be inspired? Are y'all ready to be inspired? Okay, good. All right, today's sip of inspiration is called Your Testimony, Their Hope. Okay. Now, I was inspired in an interaction that I had with a bunch of other people, which was in an environment where I wouldn't necessarily share my personal testimony. Sometimes it takes time for me to do that. It all depends. But in recent days, I decided that I would share, and the response was so supportive and encouraging, and really a life-changing reminder that it never gets old, right? When God brings us through things, when He brings us out of things, when we have a testimony, it never gets old, right? And so I'm here to remind you that your testimony could literally be somebody else's hope, okay? And so I want to share this quote that you probably heard, right, many times. It's by Mahatma Gandhi, and it says, "Your beliefs become your thoughts become your words become your actions become your habits become your values become your destiny." And might I submit to you that when we share our testimony, right, when we share what God has brought us through, when we share a victory that we have experienced, no matter how small or how great, that testimony has the power to influence the thoughts of someone else that might be experiencing the same thing or something similar. And so, by way of us sharing our testimony, we literally are giving out a lifeline to help somebody make a paradigm shift, to help somebody think differently about what they're experiencing, about what they're going through. And we know that if they change the way they think, the way they see a situation, the way they perceive a situation, then they might actually change their words and how they speak about the situation and what they're going through. And if they change their words, then they might actually change their actions and what they do in response to the situations. And if they change their actions, then they might actually change their habit and how they show up on a daily basis connected to what they're going through. And if they change their habits, they're going to change their values, honey. And if they change their values, the destiny is going to change, right? And that is the hope, is that it's a positive trajectory, right? That has been shifted forever because one person decided that they would not hide their testimony, that they would not hide what they've been through, that they would take a courageous step forward and share with another human being and say, let me tell you what God has done for me. Let me tell you how God turned this around for me. Let me tell you how God healed me of cancer twice. Let me tell you how the first time I was pregnant and I miscarried 3 weeks after I was diagnosed, and how God healed me. Let me tell you how I went through a divorce and the person closest to me betrayed me, but God, through Jesus, through the altar, through prayer, through therapy, has healed my heart and is still healing me through this day. Let me tell you how the friends I thought might be here forever aren't here anymore, but God has healed my heart. Let me tell you how I was unemployed, for almost 2 years, and God gave me favor and provided me with a job and income. Let me tell you how God has created a village of people around me in a whole new state where I ain't know nobody, okay, outside of 2 really close friends, okay? Let me tell you how God called me out to be a leader when I was just 26 years old and provided a community to help me develop and grow and stretch. Let me tell you. I mean, I can go on and on and on. Let me tell you how they told me not to have kids because that would make the cancer return. And even though it did return, it was 16 years later after my kids are nice and healthy and they're here, okay? And I don't have to live with the regret of wanting kids and not being able to have them because I listened to what my doctor said, which was not to, okay? I can go on and on and on and on about the favor of God, about his deliverance, about his freedom, his peace, his patience, oh God, and how God shows up in my life. And guess what? I won't keep that to myself. Okay. And neither should you. I know there is something that God has done for you, even if you got to dig way back into the deep recesses of your mind. Please, right? Don't think that it doesn't matter. Okay. Please, somebody needs to hear what you've come through, right? What you come out on the other side of, because that could be the lifeline, literally your story, your experience, okay? And the jewels that you pulled from your experience could literally be a lifeline, for another human being, okay? So that's really what I want to tell you. So I got three quick points, okay? And this is connected to vulnerability, right? And sharing your story. And I get it. It's not always for everybody everywhere. So I'm not saying that, right? It's your story, it's your timing. It's your story, it's your timing. So you tell it when you feel led, when you feel comfortable, right? You go with it. You decide when and how you're going to share your testimony. You decide to do it when it feels right for you and with whom you feel comfortable doing it with, right? In recent weeks, I felt comfortable to share, and so I did. And there was a harvest of connectedness. There was a harvest of faith that was gathered as a result of that one interaction from other people whose lives had been directly impacted by breast cancer, right? Whether it was a family member, whether it's themselves, right? And all across my faith journey, my life journey, my cancer journey, all the journeys, right, where I have chosen to share what I have been through. I have met people along the way who are like, oh my God, me too. Or, oh my God, my sister. Or, oh my God, my godmother. Or, oh my God, my pastor. Or, oh my God, my brother, right? And so I'm telling you, this is never going to get old, right? And so that's one. It's your story. It's your timing. Two is there's a ripple effect of vulnerability. Honestly, when you share your story and it shifts someone else's perspective, right? It lifts their faith. It inspires resilience. And sometimes people didn't even know they had that, right? But it was one word, one reminder, one encouragement, one testimony that started that ripple effect, right? And remember what I said, right? It all starts with the thoughts. And once people shift the way they're seeing things, the way they're thinking about things, everything else is really in short order after that, right? And then lastly, from perspective to life change. So how there's a changed thought, and a changed thought, like I said, can transform beliefs. Whoa, transform beliefs, values, actions, habits, and ultimately lives. Remember that destiny part. It starts with the thought and it ends in an amazing destiny fulfilled. And isn't that what we want for ourselves and for other people? So please don't downplay your testimony. It doesn't matter how small, it doesn't matter how big, it doesn't matter, right? We all have been through things. And all I'm trying to get you to understand today is tell your story, okay? Your story, your testimony, their hope. Your story, their lifeline. Your story, their faith. Your story, their paradigm shift, their perspective shift, okay? Come on. That's today's sip of inspiration, okay? I want you to tune in every single Wednesday. Come on, this is episode 28. And I'm going to keep on going and going and going and going because that is what the Lord has told me to do it. Right? So this is episode 28, your testimony, their hope. Please tune in every Wednesday, 7:30 a.m. for more jewels and gems of inspiration and restoration. All right. I love y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time.